Gav, my man, welcome back to Vancouver. How does it feel to be back in your homeland?
It's fine.
It's mediocre.
It's the same as it was.
It hasn't changed a bit.
No, it'll never change.
You're born and bred, my man. New West, is that right?
Yeah,
I read it on Facebook, so I don't know.
Yeah, I grew up in New West, Burnaby. I was born in Langley, so
My God,
every essence.
You're white.
Lower mainland.
Yeah, for sure. And now you're out in LA doing your thing.
I am.
And so you're just back here for your birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, I didn't plan to come back for my birthday. I just ended up being booked at the club, and so like it wasn't like, oh, it's my birthday, can I get booked? It was just like the weekend.
Oh, sweet.
That they gave me.
Is that like have you headlined at the Comedy Mix before? I'm assuming.
No, I've never headlined a weekend, like a full weekend at a club.
That's
like
pretty
like
cool.
a club like a club weekend is like you headline is like 45-minute sets, and there's usually 5 shows, like Thursday to Saturday.
5 shows.
Yeah, so it'll be like 1 Thursday and then 2 Friday and then 2 Saturday. That's usually just how every club, that's the format
That's
of
how
it.
they go.
Yeah, for like the weekend headliner show. So I've never done that before. So this is my first time. But
Okay.
I've headlined shows and done like an hour, but I've never, not the full club weekend. So,
So
this
what
is
is
the
that
first.
called if they book you for a weekend? Is that like your?
It's just people just call it, like the talk is just like, oh, it's a weekend.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
weekend.
where you going this week? Like it's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I got you. So you're at a level now where you can kind of get that
In Canada.
in Canada.
In Canada, I can get it.
Well, that's perfect because that's where the money is, right?
No, not really. No, there's not as club money. I don't know. I think it's just like depending on what you're doing, you can make more.
Probably not here.
Dependent on credits. I mean, I'm sure I could, like, if I had enough of a fan base, I could push, like, do a door deal and,
Right.
you could get like $5,000 out of a weekend. But right now it's just $250 per show, flat rate.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? Like,
No bonus.
no bonus, no nothing.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not pulling anybody in, but that's fine. I'm cool with where I'm at.
Well, yeah, it'd be pretty cool with where you're at too, man. Like, you're 25. Like you said, happy birthday. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
You really see, it really takes a long time. Like, I'm a fan of comedy, and I love to see comics go through it.
Yeah.
That's why last night was really interesting. We'll get into that in a second. But like, I love to see the development, and I love to see how skits get worked out. You know what I mean? And just see them grow and tweak things, and like whether that's like tone of voice or whether that's like changing up their timing and shit like that. So I love to see that grow, but it takes like, I don't know, 10 years. Some people have been in it for so long.
Yeah, some people should quit, but no, it's comedy is hard. It's like there's no like blueprint for a career in it.
Yeah, there's
no like guidebook. You kind of just like, people are like, how do you do comedy? I'm like, you just start.
You just go grab a
You
mic.
know? Yeah. I mean, I started accidentally. Like, I didn't really start accidentally. I just like, I assume we'll talk about this. So I'll just go in. How I naturally.
I got you.
I like went into it easily. If I didn't mention that, the people would just be like, holy shit, he's good in an interview.
Damn, he's nice.
But sometimes I'm too introspective.
I like it.
But
you're all introspective on stage too. I love it. Anyways.
Yeah, I like to take beats and be meta and just
super meta.
I mean, it's like, just be aware of
what's going on in this situation.
Yeah.
Like some comics play dumb.
Yeah, there's no wall. I think it's like a collective, each set is like a collective journey with the audience.
Wow, that's pretty meta.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's there, so it's like this thing you have to go through together. Like, I know it's just comedy and it's just like a set, but it's like you're supposed to, everybody on a journey, and then it's done, and then you just release.
And you go.
Yeah. It's kind of like a sweet thing.
If you think
about it as like an art form, you're like, like, I don't know if people will ever remember me, but it's like, at least they'll remember like the feeling they had
at that time.
Yeah, during the show.
Wow.
Because sometimes people won't even remember your name. After.
Yeah,
like you call me Matt and shit. Like,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, and you did it earlier too.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you called me Matt earlier. Yeah, so people will just, but it's like, I get it. It's like people say 2 first name thing, but sometimes people.
I was so nervous when I said that DM. I was like, oh my God, he didn't
respond. I didn't even care. People
oh my God.
People always.
I was about to cancel it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
People do it a lot, but it's
I hate that.
But it's fine. So like people don't remember your name. They won't be like, you know, they won't follow you after shows.
But you know what the thing is like, if I talk about you, I'll say Gavin Matts. I won't say Gavin. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like you're a figure now. Like you're not a first name person. Like if I was like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with Joe. And you're like, who the fuck? Oh, sorry, Joe Rogan, my bad. We're homies, so.
Oh, cool, you know Joe Rogan like
yeah,
that.
like, you know, like, no.
It's like when somebody's like, they like bring up like Seth and you're like, you Seth Rogen? Like, why would you? You don't know. I know you don't know him.
Yeah, no, of course not, right?
Yeah.
So when I talk about you, I'll be like, oh, Gavin Matts. And
I'm a
like,
figure.
Yeah, you're a.
Like I gotta update my Instagram.
Like, request that verification.
I'm gonna wait to send in the application for the blue check. I want at least like, I think it's bad to like not, you have to have at least like 10,000 followers before you have it.
Dude, I know we've had Kayjan. Sorry, Kayjan, I'll put you on blast right now. But
oh shoot.
He's verified. He's got like, I don't know, 9,000 or something like that. I remember seeing that and being like, what? He's a UFC fighter.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. That's enough.
Yeah, but you're on Comedy Central.
So digital.
Dude, I don't give a no, you're on Comedy Central. That's it. That's like, even if you played in the NBA. So like I play and train and coach basketball, and I coach with guys that have had 10-day contracts in the NBA. First thing they show up, oh yeah, this is Greg. He played it in the NBA. It's the same thing. Like, yeah, you got a digital, but like, dude, you're on Comedy Central at 25 with like, that's unreal.
Yeah, it's good, but it's just like, what's next? That's how my mindset is always like. I don't, it's such a like, doing comedy is such like it's like there and gone. So it's like you always have to keep being like,
keep delivering.
Because there's no way to make money unless
you're
unless you're pushing yourself into money.
Yeah, there's no residual income in comedy.
Yeah, unless
you sell.
There's like a series, you can make money off if you get your comedy played on Sirius XM.
Right.
Like that's how a lot of Canadian comics make like their living.
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, there's no like, you know, you don't get a weekly check from comedy.
Yeah, first and the 15th.
Yeah, you got to be funny and get booked.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So let's double back here. We're talking about the comedy mix there, which is iconic. If you don't know what the comedy mix is, go Google it, pause the podcast, go back, keep the podcast playing in the background. What am I talking? But the comedy mix is like, to me, I think is the mainstay, the iconic Vancouver comedy club. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think so. I mean, I started, my first set was March 1st, 2014. So I'm 5 years in like just now.
You started at 20.
I started 2 weeks before I turned 20.
So you're 19.
Yeah, I was going to like film school, and then there are these people that were like going to this open mic in the basement of Goldie's Pizza on Pender. And there was like at that time there was like an open mic there like 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
And so I went on the Wednesday with these guys to like watch them do the open mic, because like I always wanted to do stand up. I just didn't know you could do it.
Do stand up?
Yeah, like nobody's like you, like there's no, unless you're doing it, you're not aware of
how to do it.
Yeah, like I didn't even see stand up live until like I was like, I guess it was the day after I graduated high school. I went and saw Aziz at the Orpheum. And
what high school you go to?
New West Secondary.
Damn, I was there a couple days ago in the gym.
Oh, cool.
Working out.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, old ass gym.
Yeah, it's old.
Dusty.
That building, I think it's getting rebuilt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw Aziz. That was the first show I ever saw, and he had an opener, and it was Chelsea Peretti. So this is like 2012, before she kind of blew up, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and stuff. And I didn't know there was an opener. But I remember seeing that show, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to open for somebody.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do stand-up for like another year and a bit.
So it was just brewing in the back of your mind?
Yeah, it was always kind of. Like I like watched so much comedy as a kid that I guess I was studying it.
Yeah.
And then when I went and watched this open mic at Goldie's Pizza, and then
Goldie's open mic.
It was bad. It was bad, and I was like, oh, I can do this. And then like that night, I wrote 5 minutes, or what I thought was 5 minutes. And then I went the next day and just did the open mic.
How'd it go?
I don't know, bad. It's fucking horrible. Like,
was there anybody there?
there was like 4 or 5 people. I made my friend come with me.
Shout out. So you like tripled the audience or like upped it by 20%?
Yeah, exactly. And he said it was funny, and I just after that I did it like every night that I could.
Well, so you went from nothing to watching it to next night, okay, I'm gonna go up there and do it.
Yeah.
And then you go up and do it, and then you're just like, you're on.
I was like,
gone.
this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like I was just like, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
It's like when you meet a girl, you're like, no, she's the one.
Yeah, I was like love at first sight kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't care as what I'm doing in my life as long as I'm fucking doing comedy.
You're gonna be all right. Damn, that's super crazy. Did you always have this, you have this, like, your timing is very nice. You're not afraid of like dead space. Like you kind of let the crowd's emotions run through a little bit. Like you're not one of those like go up there and do a sing and dance and jump around and try to be funny. You're kind of like, you have a way with your words. Like it's Dave Chappelle-esque in my mind. Like I'm not trying to say you're Dave Chappelle, but like I'm just saying,
I'm not at all. That's not even what I'm trying to do.
I know, like, I get it. But he has this kind of like way of navigating words that's very like, he takes his time. He's not panicked or rushed or anything. He's just here and he'll deliver when he wants to deliver.
Yeah, I think silence is more important than the laughter. Like,
how does that make any sense?
Like I think the best comics like that I like and respect, they like can sit in pockets. I think it's important to sit in pockets and breathe. And like, because I think the audience is always on edge whenever somebody's on stage. So you can't like, you don't want to like it's easy to lose them. But if you show like how comfortable you are, and you like allow the silence and allow them to catch up with you, because I know where I'm gonna go usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't, but like I usually know where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And so like if they're like, if I just embrace that silence, then I feel like they trust me. And then when I get to the end, it's always like better than it would ever be if I was just going through things. Because it should be conversational, and in a conversation, there are pauses.
And there's time to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some comics will just get up on stage and just be like welcome so-and-so to the stage, and they'll walk on, they'll grab the mic, they'll sit down and be like, so like, what's up? Like, you know, and they'll give that kind of like pause.
Yeah, I mean that's different than like, I don't know, there's some comics, they just go up and they're like act.
Yeah.
But I do think it's like a conversation, so it's like they shouldn't be saying anything back to you. I mean, sometimes people do, but it's like they should be thinking something or saying something to the person beside them, and reacting so that it is like a conversation, so that they feel like they're in it with you.
Yeah. And like the crowd's usually warm, obviously. Like you were headlining last night, so I went out and saw Gavin last night.
Yeah, Zainab is opening, and she's a headliner.
Yeah, she's a murderer.
Yeah,
she killed. She's
following. She's like, Zainab Johnson is like, I mean, watch her late night with Seth Meyers set. Like, she's here. She's like a series regular on a new Amazon show. That's why she's in town. Like, for my first headline weekend, like I shouldn't be following her. You know, like it's I don't
know, man.
But it like put pressure on me to like.
But it also worked extremely well.
Yeah,
like the crowd was warm as hell.
Yeah. Plus, you don't want like, it's just like a lineup of, you know, each unique perspectives. I think is good than just like 3 of me. Like if me and you, and terrible. Then another guy that looked like us again.
Yeah, some white guy with short hair.
Yeah,
in a hoodie.
It's just that sucks.
You're all gonna have fucking, I don't know, puzzle jokes.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, us white folk.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, last night you came up on the stage. So yeah, I went out and saw you last night. I thought it was an amazing show. My girlfriends were dying. The crowd was dying. It was definitely a good atmosphere, and like the MC killed. Who was the MC last night?
Patrick Malia. Yeah, he's like, as a host, he's like,
money. I don't know what you call it in comedy, but like he riffed off the crowd, right? And he just like asked questions and to different people.
Yeah, he's like the perfect person for it.
And he just made like like really basic shit funny. Like, oh, you guys are dating? Like, that's cool. How long have you been dating for? Like 6 months. And he'll just like go off on that.
Yeah.
And then he'll tie all 3 of his conversations together, and like all of a sudden, boom, he has a closer joke, like out of thin air.
Yeah, that's like an art form.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
He killed. Zainab came up. She killed. You came up. And the crowd was already like super warm, and you just started like going. Like there was no pause, there was no nothing. And when you first initially came out, like I don't know if the crowd knew you or not. Like I didn't know. Like I was like I knew you, and I was like looking around. I was like, okay. Like, and some people had been saying your name and stuff. I was like, is this like? I didn't know if you like had people that were there like for you, or just people that were coming out and singing. Like I couldn't tell.
I don't know. I think
it was a mix.
I think in that club, like that's like my home club. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely most comfortable on
There.
that stage than
Yeah.
anywhere. Like I mean, that's where I've like became a comic.
Essentially. Yeah.
So like I know that people have seen me. So like I don't like to repeat material, but for the headline set,
Right,
you're
right,
like
right,
you
right,
got
right,
to,
right.
you know, you're being paid.
Right. And
So
you
that
have something
sometimes in my
else.
head I get nervous there, but I don't know how many people were there because I kind of like just jetted after.
Yeah.
But I wish I had like I wish I stayed and like talked to people more.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
a tough thing about it is to like hang out after, and it seems like self-serving.
It's really weird. Like it caught me off guard the first time I saw comics do it. Like I'd probably go to a comedy show like once a month or something like that. Like I fucking enjoy comedy. I like the art form of it. I think it's dope. But a lot of times clients will like come out after. That's hilarious. What was that?
I don't know. Someone's phone and shit.
Someone's on Instagram. Anyways, so someone would like come off after. Yeah, someone's like watching something. Anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
Someone would, the comics would like get off stage, and they would just like walk right next, and they'd go to the door and like try to sell CDs or like T-shirts.
I know. I mean, I think it's important to do that, but it's also so hard to do because you feel like you just feel like you're selling out. But it's like, I mean, it's like maybe people would remember you more that way, or.
I like the mystique of it.
Me too. I mean, the goal is to have somebody that can like I have my own merch and shit, but I don't sell it.
Yeah.
Like if I will one day, maybe if I ever get to like a level where I can pay somebody to do that for me.
Yeah.
But just to like go out and be there, it seems like
kind of corny.
Yeah.
Seems a little corny. And
But then it's like everybody tries to sell shit.
Sure, but then for the common fan who's like maybe never been out to a comedy show, or only like goes every once in a while, and they've never seen that before, you're like, why are you selling your shit? Like, I don't know. It just.
But literally every place sells merch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like every place sells merch. Like Self-Hired has merch. It's
Good
like,
point.
you know, it's
Yeah,
like why
yeah.
I'm a business too.
Yeah.
Like I have to make more money. Like this
Right.
is a way for me to make more money. And it's like also like people do want to support you and they don't know how, but it's like, oh, if I have this thing, if I have this CD or I have this T-shirt, that's a way you can help me more if you really, you know, liked me. Like you can't just be like, hey, PayPal me. Like I would love that. I would love to get like tips.
You can't have like a GoFundMe.
Like I don't get a tip, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna tip the server, you're not gonna tip me.
There's no like jar.
Yeah, there's no tip jar for me.
If there was,
I've had somebody pay me after a show. Like I had somebody come up to me after a show and they gave me $100.
damn.
And I was like, I'll never forget that person. Because it was like at a time when I like needed $100.
Yeah. Damn.
And I didn't want to take it and they're like, no, please.
Take it. Because they know comedy. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, most people are getting free tickets anyway to that
yeah.
club, you know?
No,
They're papering the room. Like,
No, 100%.
I'm not like a draw.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's just crazy. That's amazing. There's fans out there and stuff like that, man. Well, no, listen, it seemed like, listen, the crowd was behind you last night, except for that one fucking person. I don't know what's the deal with them.
I mean, I can't see at that club, like,
Oh, yeah,
usually
man.
in comedy, like, you can't see past the first row, and then the second row you can barely see.
Right.
So when anything's going on in the crowd, you kind of would have to go like this,
Yeah.
but I don't really like do that ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't
You don't,
go
like,
like
headhunt
I don't
in the
peer
crowd.
out. Like I
Yeah.
could go step on the edge of the stage and look out. But yeah, when you have people heckling, it's like you're kind of just responding to like their tone.
Right.
You know, like because there's different tones in hecklers. Like anything is a heckle, really. Anything you yell out is a heckle. Like because it interrupts my timing.
Yeah, it fucks your.
It's
train of thought.
so it makes me mad because I'm trying to. There's more
You have
people
a
like
set,
because you're
you have
being
an act.
Yeah, if you're saying something, it's selfish.
Yeah.
Like to me, because I'm like, there are other people laughing. And like, it's different if I'm bombing. If I'm bombing, I'm like, go off. Like, you know, rip into me. But I'm not. Like, I know when I'm not.
Right.
Like, I know when I have a crowd.
Yeah.
And they're on my side.
Like last night, that crowd was on your side.
Yeah, I just came out. I tried to front load likable jokes and then try to get into darker material.
Darker material.
Like not darker, but stuff that people would be like, that's edgy, and it would and like setups throw people off.
Right.
Like as mixed direction.
Right.
Or misdirection, sorry, mixed direction. That's not the right word. But yeah, that crowd was crazy. So the heckle is like, because originally, what had happened was I had this joke about puzzles. I did that at the beginning because it's like an endearing joke.
Okay.
So after that, the crowd definitely trusts me.
Yeah.
And I can say whatever I want after that joke because it's a proven joke. I know it's good.
Yeah.
But this girl interrupted when I said how long it took me to do the puzzle. That's when she yelled out, "I was wondering that." So that interrupted me, and I was like, and then I had a response to her. And then another girl jumped in and was like, don't shush a woman. But I'm like, it doesn't matter if it was anybody.
It's a voice.
It's a voice.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I said something about being quiet, made a joke about that.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'll shut up when you're relevant.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
I literally couldn't believe that.
Which is like, I don't understand.
To a headliner, and it's like you're proven, like you have credentials, like you've won fucking contests and awards, like you've been on, whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I want to know what she thinks is relevant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she just hasn't seen you at like the pub in Surrey, so that's probably why she doesn't think.
Yeah, so she said that, and then like, yeah, I just went off on that, and I tried to get back into the act, and then her boyfriend, I guess,
said something.
He said it's not funny on a setup of a joke.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, the setup isn't funny.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, don't pick on a girl, and you're like, what? Like, how is that even?
I couldn't even really hear. Yeah, I can't even really hear what they're saying.
Right.
Because I'm trying to speak, and the sound system, they don't carry towards me.
It carries out.
Like, where were you sitting?
So I was in the second row. She was behind me.
Okay.
So she was behind me, so I heard her like super prevalent, and I was just like, and like she was obviously drunk. Like I could hear the whole show, She was just like you know those people that are just like in conversations and they just talk louder than everybody else.
Yeah, it's just like disrespectful to like
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like I mean like I don't know what you like to do on a Friday night, but like I don't like to get drunk and then go heckle. Like and like I like a good heckle. Like I like if they're bombing, like you said, and like someone has a good joke.
Yeah, and there are funny heckles. Like there are some things you can say, and then like I think it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And then you would like acknowledge it or no? Like.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. You have to acknowledge what's going on in the room, otherwise you lose the crowd. But like these people were like, they were not on board, and the whole crowd was on board, and they ended up getting kicked out, and then like. The whole crowd just booed them.
Oh, we wanted blood, son.
They booed them. I'd never seen that before. Like everybody booed them. This girl in the front was like, "Get those motherfuckers out of here!" Yeah,
that girl was legit. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like everybody's on my side.
I was so nervous because right as she said that relevant thing, I was like, "Oh fuck, this could go one of two ways."
Well, I felt like sometimes like people they come to a late show and they're like on coke.
Literally. Well,
like, and I felt like, and then I made the coke comment. I was like,
he didn't like that.
No, because he was on coke, and you can't go to a comedy show, be talking, and be on cocaine. Like, I can't see you. There's 200 people in the room. You're talking. In my head, you're like, you're on coke. I'm gonna say you're on coke. I'm gonna embarrass you. Even if you're not on coke, if someone's like, are you on coke? You're like, no.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So, I just told him I'm making $250 for the show. So I was like, that's how much you spend on coke.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah, a week.
And then I paused, and then I said, sometimes fentanyl has positive outcomes.
Or some shit like that.
I said it has positive outcomes.
Positive outcomes. My God. And the crowd laughed too.
Like, I just wanted to, the girl in the front was like, kill her. It was wild. This is like one of the most insane, like, 10 minutes of my comedy ever.
But dude, you handled it so well. I was so impressed. Like, dude, like, yeah, you killed your actual material, and that's like one thing, and like,
it sucks because like that takes away from my actual material.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's such an in the moment thing where it's like that'll never happen again. So the audience is like, oh man, he's, but it's like, but my material would have been better if that had never happened.
right. Oh, I don't know, man. But it's like now it's a story.
Yeah, now
Like
it's
now
like,
it's a story. Like I'm telling everybody about that.
yeah, like
you
people,
know?
yeah, like people hit me up like in the DMs being like, that was crazy.
That was so crazy, man. And like, so what I want to know is that, so you go through, so the timeline in my mind is like essentially like your opener kills, the crowd's super warm, crowd's super on your side, they're loud. You know, it's a Friday night crew, which is like not a good night in comedy, right? Like essentially because everyone's got work that day.
Yeah, so the Friday early is usually like the worst show I find.
Right.
Because it's like people they like rush from work.
To get there.
And then they're like, you know, people, you're tired, you just started to drink.
Yeah,
you know?
you're not really drunk yet.
Yeah. The late show is like people rested, they got ready, and they had a couple drinks.
Showered, had dinner.
Which is like, you don't need to drink to enjoy comedy, but like in this setting, it's like
a level of looseness.
Yeah. So it's a dark room. It's dark so that like nobody can see your face. Like you can laugh at whatever you want. The alcohol kind of like loosens you up.
Yeah. So sorry, you're there. It goes through. You kill like I don't know the first like 20 minutes of your set, 30 minutes of your set.
That happened like they first heckled it like 8. I listened to it already in like 8 minutes, and they were gone by like minute 16.
Oh no way! I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah. So that was at the beginning of the set, like
crazy.
And then it's like, well, I had to stop doing the puzzle joke, you know, that's like,
yeah, because you
and then in my head it's like timing, because it's like I don't do 45 all the time,
right?
So I like my set is like mapped,
right?
Like yeah, there's room for things, but it's like my set is like I like wrote it out, and
it's
like
an act.
Yeah, and then if I lose that, then I got to move on. Like you can't go back into a joke, it's hard.
Right.
Like I even tried last night. I even said that in the moment. I was like, I can't go back and do that joke because you can't.
So you were like, yeah,
because I'm gonna do it and it's not gonna work.
Yeah, because they're not in that mood.
Yeah, because people are like, you know, people say they want to hear it because they're being supportive, but it's like it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. But you know what? So you stumbled through that and you got through that, and I was like, once the crowd just wanted blood, I was like, all right, cool. I was nervous for like, I don't know, it was like 30 seconds. I was like shaking in my boots. I was like, oh no, this could go bad.
Yeah.
This could go bad.
Everybody just had to settle in once they left.
And that was like totally fine. I love how you just like came back and you're like, yeah, so like puzzles, and then you were like, and the crowd fucking loved that. Like everything you said, the crowd thought was a joke. And like that to me is like I didn't even know if you were trying to be funny, and you were like at the end of it or in the middle after that little altercation or whatever, you were like, yeah, like I don't think you guys understand like how hard it is to be funny after you just like have to kick out somebody. And
yeah.
Like, and the whole crowd was like, they loved it.
Yeah.
Like you delivered it in a way, like I just said it right there, it's not funny. Like, but you killed that. I
yeah.
don't know how.
It's just like an insane thing to be like, it's just insane to be like, have somebody, you kick somebody out and you have to do it in a funny way.
Yeah.
And then you also have to like keep the crowd's trust and then continue back into material. And you're like, oh, I got 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm 15 minutes in, I have 30 minutes. I don't know what could happen in the last
30
30 minutes is a long ass time. This is 45-minute set that's like, there's no commercials.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no, yeah.
Like people's like attention span's not even that long.
Yeah.
So like I could lose somebody quick.
Really quickly.
But you kind of just have to stay present and in the moment.
Yeah.
And then just like keep, you know, I mean, that's when the material is like important.
So did you mean that as a joke?
I mean, yeah, but I mean seriously, but I'm just on stage, so I'm like,
okay,
I'm saying
you
it
killed that.
because it's like a true feeling.
Yeah, because I was putting myself in your shoes, and I was like, he's like, oh no, I was like, yo, Tracy, he's being honest, like, he's just being honest with the crowd, and they loved it. Like, how the fuck do you? I don't know.
It's just like, I mean, B. Arthur, my favorite Golden Girl, she said to be an exposed nerve.
Right.
So like, I mean, I think you can relate that to anything, but it's just be an exposed nerve. Just be open.
Right.
Open to change and like open to what, you know, because nothing's the same.
Right.
It's gonna be different each time, even if I'm telling the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, totally, man. I want to jump into a little bit of like your, I don't know how you call it, but like your persona or your image or how you've crafted that? Because when I think of different comics, they all have different lanes that they've essentially made, right? All the great ones have made their own lane, and you have like the MC last night said, you know, I've known Gavin for a long time, and you know, just as an amateur, you could see he was going to be successful because he had a style, right? So you have this kind of cadence to how you deliver, and even how you present. Like you're always on, you're always cozy. You always have a hoodie on. You're always like very relaxed. At no point am I ever like in the audience and I'm like, oh fuck, like this guy's gonna bomb. I'm always like, oh no, he's super comfortable. Like I feel comfortable. Like just the fact that you come out there and you like, I don't know how to describe that, but you've built this like persona around you where like I just kind of have trust as a consumer or as an audience member, and I'm just like, I kind of just like at that point I just sit down in my chair and I'm like, okay, like let's go. You know, how did you build that? Or was that like, did you consciously do that, or did that just come into?
I thought about it when I started, that I was like, I looked at who I liked at the time and what they were doing, and you kind of like mimic them for a while.
Right.
But I always saw it as important to be comfortable on stage. So at first I wasn't, but I would just like, ever since I started, I forced myself to like act like I was.
Right.
So like put on that I didn't care.
Yeah.
So for like, I think like my second year, I mean, 5 years is not a long time to be doing stand-up. Like people are like, you know, they've been doing it forever. So, but in my second year, I didn't do like any material. Like I just would go on stage and would be like, and I would just like riff. So like a whole year I spent doing that because I think it was partly out of arrogance.
Really?
Because I think I had a hot start, and then for a while, and then I would bomb a lot, and then I would just I would just be like, I don't care, like, and I would figure it out, like, and people were like, they would like, I mean, there's nobody like famous in Vancouver in the comedy scene, but there's a lot of shows, but people would like, thankfully, like everybody that booked the shows would like, they would book me even if I didn't do well. You know, so I would just I just experimented.
You're like, I have a next at bat, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'm like, I would go to every open mic, you know, do every show I possibly could. The comedy mix started, I got to do like, I was like a year in when I got my first like middle weekend. So like you get 20 minutes, you're a year in, you're gonna like find some, you know.
Yeah.
I just, the amount of stage time I had, I was able to like become comfortable like so quickly.
Damn. So you really, for a year, you just went out with no material?
I was, yeah, but it was not good. Like it was bad. Like I would just bomb. But like that's in my head. I was like, oh, that's how you get.
That's how you get better.
Yeah.
So you're just like the more bombs underneath my belt.
Yeah, like I tried to just always have new material and like new ideas. Cause like it's all just like, all premises are is like, it's all a setup is just like, it's like a thought you had. And then you write that down, and then the punchline is just backing up that thought, and you have a new thought every day. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna write down all these thoughts, and then when I do a set later, I'm gonna do all this shit.
Right. Okay.
And then I just never kept, so I have like notebooks of like,
of course,
just like
endless.
Yeah.
So what's your process like? Like how do you come up with jokes?
I mean, now it's like the same. Now it's like the same way I used to do it, but like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just free write for like 20 minutes.
Really?
And then out of that, I usually find one thing, and then that goes into a different notebook where it's just like more thought out ideas.
Yeah.
And then eventually that turns into a joke. Like I have this joke now that like, it was in the Comedy Central set. It's the anti-vaccine joke. I came up with that like 2 years ago, but I never really did it until August.
Right.
And then in August 2018, before I moved, I started to make that like funny. Like I just read it and I was like, oh, this is how this is gonna work.
Right. It just came to you.
Yeah. Like so, I think eventually you just need like, I allow myself to have like time and space from jokes.
Right. Get yourself removed from the thought and then revisit it.
Yeah, you kind of have to let it like cultivate.
Brew.
Yeah, so that like you come back at it with a different perspective.
Right.
It's like when you're like working on anything, it's like eventually you get tired.
Yeah.
So you go and then you come back and you're
Creatively.
excited about it again.
Right. No, that makes sense. And you know, like the vaccine thing, vaccines came in the news again around that time, I think. Oh, it was like
It's like they're back heavy now. So
Right.
like that came out on Comedy Central, and I don't even like how I did the joke on it, but
What?
yeah, I don't want to watch that set, but
Whoa, hold up.
I like,
What?
because I'm like, well, because it's like I shot that at January 22nd, and anytime I do something, I'm like a week later, I'm like, I wish I did it now because I'm better. But it's a good experience because I'm like, I see it and I'm like, it's good, and it's I think it's already helped me a lot.
No, of course it has. Like Comedy Central is like the biggest. I mean, what? Comedy Central. Like, what are the biggest names? You want Comedy Central. You want to get a special. I mean, it used to be HBO.
Yeah.
And like get a Netflix special, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's for stand up. That's,
For that, that's
you
it.
know,
That's
I want to
like-
do other stuff too, but like for stand up, yeah.
That's the league. That's the NBA. That's the NFL right there. That's professional ranks or whatever.
Yeah, but that joke, it just grew.
Damn, dude. Can't believe you're not happy with that joke. That's hilarious.
No, I'm really happy with the joke.
Yeah.
I love the joke. I
Yeah.
love doing the joke.
Yeah.
I think that's like the kind of joke I always want to do.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite kind of joke.
Well, you're
Like if I could, like that formula for that joke, the setup for it is I'm trying to figure out what I believe in. Like I don't think you should get vaccinated
yeah.
because 150 years ago people didn't get vaccinated and they died
Yeah.
at like 40.
Yeah.
And that's the setup. And then I back up the point, and like people who are like, they heard that, oh, he's an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
They get on edge. They're like, oh, what is he? And then I back up the point, and then people will be like, oh, that's so true. I never thought of it like that before. Like that's the formula of joke I want. It's like a thing that you think is negative, and then you flip it on them. It's like a classic misdirect, but it's a misdirect of like feeling.
Right. So you like that misdirect formula in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because you just like in my mind when I'm listening to that joke, and like I've rewatched that quite a few times because it's fucking funny. And
Thank you.
Know, like it is, bro. Like when guests come on here, I try not to blow too much smoke.
Yeah,
but, like, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Like, it's
okay,
like-
thank you. Yeah,
like,
don't gas me. I don't need it.
Like, I'm a fucking fan, but it's like, so I watch that, and every time I watch it, because I like to dissect things. I like to figure out the inner workings of things, and I'm always like, what is it like? What's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? And I love like you literally go so far down one road because it's not just like sometimes setups when I'm watching. Like I don't know dick about comedy. I'm just like I'm hypothesizing.
Yeah.
Essentially, where I'm like, okay, well he had one line going down here. And then if that was gonna be a misdirect, he would just kind of immediately go another direction. Versus like you went so far down one road and then you just flipped it with lettuce.
Yeah.
Like lettuce. Like that's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you did it. It's cool. And I wish that I could just continue to learn about that, but I don't know how you creatively create that. Like, so that started with the vaccination thing. And
then the lettuce thing happened in the news, where I was like, and I was like, well, that's killing. I was like, in my head, I was like, what's people are dying from lettuce.
Right.
In January, people were dying from lettuce.
Right.
And I was like, why is that? That's because we're not dying from other things.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like, I just said that on stage. Like that was just, sometimes things are just like, you know where you want to go with a joke, and then just organically things happen around it. And then in the moment, you just like have that knowledge.
Right.
Because you're like so used to how you do setup and your cadence and your delivery and timing that like,
It just
things
on.
just click, which is insane, but
Well, through reps, right? Like
yeah,
through reps, right?
yeah, it's like so much goes into it, but
It's the same people that are like conversationalists, right? Like they can just carry a conversation regardless.
yeah, it's
right?
just like free throws. It's like Steve Nash every
like-
day, 100 free throws. It's like,
Of course,
that's-
you'd reference Steve Nash.
I mean, I love Steve Nash.
I love Steve Nash too.
I love Steve Nash.
He's from the island. I'm from the island, so that's our little bond. I know his babysitter as a kid. I don't
Oh,
know him,
cool.
though.
Oh man, really reaching.
Yeah.
Well, it's all
reaching,
everybody's
bro.
2 degrees
Dude,
separation.
I'm gonna reach so hard. Yeah, Steve Nash is the man, and he's a little white kid from Victoria. It's hilarious. I know one of his coaches too, actually. Yo, Steve, you ever listen to this? I'm coming for you. Anyways, I consider you 100% like not I consider you, the world considers you 100% a professional comedian. And that is like just based off of, I mean, people will notice at this point, but you know, just because of the Sirius XM and because of, TBS and because of Comedy Central and because of just stages that you've been on and crowds you've been in front of, right? To me, that's what makes you a professional, right? But there's also a narrative or a thought of you're a professional because you've put the reps in. Now, I say that like those two things have to work in synergy, where yes, you have been in front of the stages and the people and you've had that platform and you've also put in the reps. Like what you alluded to earlier is like, yeah, there's guys that like have done this for 15, 20 years and should just stop, right?
But I mean, I'm not talking about those people as, like they're, like I wouldn't say I'm a professional yet because like.
What?
I mean like.
Dude.
Until I'm like making like a solid living, But I mean, I think
you're full of shit. That's ridiculous.
I don't know, because comedy's such a weird thing. You never like, nothing's certain. Like, yeah, you get a late night spot and that kind of thing, but then you're like, it's just a constant what now. And then until you don't have that what now.
Dude. Yeah, okay, like I get it. It's amazing. That's a great mindset.
Yeah.
But I disagree with you 100%. Like there's a certain level that you're at, and once you're there, like, yeah, you know what, you'll be fine. I honestly think like if you went to Bali for 3 months and came back, you could book shows and do sets. Like you're that type of funny. You have those reps behind you. You can just step on stage. Like,
yeah.
I feel like you're one of those guys, or maybe you're not. I don't know. Do you get rusty if you don't get on stage for like a couple of weeks or a couple of days, or how is that?
Well, I've always just thought in my head that I would, so I don't allow myself. Well, also stand up is nice because like I'm in LA now, which is like a beast to get to, but from Canada. But it's like I act. I'll like go and audition.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like it's pilot season. I've been auditioning a lot, and I'm like. I don't know how actors do it because
okay, my bad.
Because like all they do is act,
right?
So all they do is audition. So I'm like I get sucked into that world where I'm thinking am I gonna get a call back?
Right.
How did I do in the audition? It drives me crazy. But like stand up, you just go out and you can do it. So you get like this constant reset with like an immediate gratification. So like I kind of need that in my life. Like I'm addicted to it. Like
oh shit.
Like if I don't have that, like if I don't do stand up for like 2 days, like I get depressed.
No way.
Like I get sad, like it eats at me, which is why LA is hard because there's not as much stage time.
And more comics.
Yeah, there's more comics.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I 100% know what you mean. Like I get weird if I don't sweat every day. Maybe that's a different thing, but it's still a dopamine hit.
No, it's the same. Yeah. I get the same like adrenaline from like doing stand-up that I get from like you know, if you work out, you go for like a long run or something.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'm like, if I don't, like every day, like I'm such a bitch if I don't. Like I'm just not like a fun person.
Because it's like an immediate high.
Yeah.
And I don't like do drugs. Right. I drink, but like not really. And
straight.
And I just need that. And if I don't have it, then it's like, No,
I get it. I get it 100%. You said it's pilot season. What does that mean? It's when there's.
Oh, that's like so right now it's like a month and a half long season in like LA. Everybody goes out to LA, all the actors, and it's like so they're booking all the pilots right now. Right. So a pilot is like the first episode of a show, and so before a network or anybody buys a show, like for cable usually. Not for like Netflix or Amazon, they buy packages of shows in like tens, or like they'll buy the first season,
Okay.
So that they shoot the whole season. But like a network, they have like pilots, so like NBC comedies.
Oh.
So like maybe there'll be like 20 comedies shot, 20 pilots shot, and like they're only gonna buy 2.
Right.
So pilot season, you go out, you do pilots, you book a pilot, you do that, you get paid for the pilot. And then you wait to see if it gets picked up. If it gets picked up, you go into a season.
Yeah. Crazy.
So there's like a lot of work right now for pilot season.
It's tryouts, baby.
Yeah.
It's just tryouts, right?
Yeah. Damn. So there are shows that are like have been made the first episode.
Yeah.
Which could be great, but they'll never be made. That whole show will never be made. They didn't get picked up.
That's crazy. So you're obviously a comedian first. Right?
Yeah, I would say stand up first, but I always say that I write a lot like scripts.
Well, you've written for like 22 minutes, or this hour is 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's like a sketch show. Like, but yeah, like TV writing. Like, I want to do like narrative and that kind of thing. Like, I want to write like.
Are you working with Bill Burr?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
I'm not
for family.
No, I'm not working with him yet, but he's doing a new show on Comedy Central, and off the set I did that just came out. He picked me to be on his new show. So it's like another 5-minute set.
Dope.
And then he like interviews you.
Oh.
But he handpicked all of the comics that are going to be on it. So
damn, Bill Burr is like one of the best. Like,
yeah, I mean he's a current great.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if he's an all-time great. Maybe I don't know, but he's.
I think you kind of have to.
I just don't know enough about comedy to like. Say
yeah,
that.
I mean everybody's list is probably different.
Yeah, but like I think he's funny as hell. Again, we were talking before the podcast about podcasts, and like he like has a podcast that he just literally talks into a mic.
Yeah.
And I hate that same shit, but like I think he's funny. Like he can just sit in a room and just go, and like I'll listen.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy for sure. So you're a comic first, probably a writer second, but like you also have like Barely Naked.
The Barely Legal. That was like a show that I was doing in Vancouver when I lived here.
Right.
I started it with my old roommate like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we just like that's like a live stand-up show.
Oh, okay.
In like an underground space.
Right.
So like we cultivated like an audience for that, and like just grew like a homegrown show.
Like that's so dope. So like, are you trying to get into a little bit more of the producing?
No, I just want to write and act. So like, people will watch a show and be like, oh, he wrote on that.
Right.
Oh, you should see his stand-up, or his stand-up. This is his stand-up. He writes on that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, he acts. He had a guest star in this show.
You can cross.
Oh, I liked him in that show. Who is this guy? Looks me up. They find my stand-up, and then it's like, and then I just like have an audience of where I can just like tour stand-up, and then one day like do theaters. Like I think that's everybody's goal. Yeah, I think eventually you want to be like, oh, I can go somewhere, do one night at a place, sell it out, and then I'm out. Like.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like I think that's the best way to like work out material. Like I mean, I have dreams of like getting past to the Comedy Store and getting my name on the wall, and like getting past to the Comedy Cellar in New York, and then like going there and doing spots, and then like every weekend just going and doing a club. Like it doesn't,
Right. I get it.
Like doing what I'm doing this weekend, but like
constantly.
2 weekends a month.
Yeah. On the road a lot. How do you feel about the road? A lot of comics think about different ways about it.
I mean, I've really only been on airplanes for like 2 years now. So like
been on airplanes for 2 years. I like that.
So like I like it. Like I like the feeling of going somewhere, to do jokes. But I'm never like headlining. I'm always like opening. So it's like opening is great. Like there's not as much worry, but I do like going to different cities. Like I love like New York, Toronto, Austin was wild last year. San Francisco is a really good comedy city.
Crazy.
There are places I want to go to, but I like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not at a level where I have to go to like some shitty place yet.
Fucking bar, yeah.
Not like bar, but like a club where you're like, oh, why do I got to be in San Antonio? Like.
Right. Okay. No. I feel you for
or
sure.
Indiana or something.
Right. Yeah, and so do you want to like continue to do just for the time being, just cultivate more and more in LA? And like obviously you're from Vancouver, but like from what I get, it's not kind of the place you want to be or the scene you want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, since I moved, I got a work visa, where I can act, write, and do stand up.
Right.
So I just want a writing job so I can like. Get money to get the green card and then just be there forever. And then, but yeah, that's what I want. I just want to be there, work on stuff, make money.
And keep moving forward.
Yeah.
LA is a weird place though, man. Like from in an actor or a producer or a comedian space, like you go down to like a diner and like your waitress is going to be an actress. Like it's like they're everywhere. And I feel like it makes such a weird dynamic, like socially. Like everyone is constantly like.
There's this ice cream spot that I like where like the guy who was working there was like for sure on a show and was funny in it.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't remember his like name. But like it's that thing where you're like, he's giving you ice cream and you're like, I like that. Like I like that, but I like that because I'm like, you are out here doing your thing, and you have to be doing this to supply
well.
for that.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that for sure, but I just feel like it's a weird dynamic, man. Everyone is like constantly looking at, like, I feel like everyone's like more self-conscious in a way because everyone's so used to doing like auditions and things like that.
Yeah, I think everybody's always looking for like an angle.
Everyone's trying to be different, or I don't know. Like I've been listen, man, I've been to LA like 3 times. Like I don't know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, in LA it's just like, what have you done? And then in New York it's like, you know, there's like more of like, I think, a respect for stand-up. So it's like you could like kill a set, and then people will be like, yo,
he killed.
But in LA it's like you can kill, but they'll be like, yeah, but
who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be somebody. Yeah, that's crazy. So you say everyone's like, get to LA, get to LA. All the rappers out here, get to LA. Comedians out here, get to LA.
But it's LA or New York. Like I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Like there's industry in both places, and I think like, yeah, I think there's industry in both places. But I think if you're gonna act and, you know, write, you want to get right on a show, you kind of have to go to LA.
Okay, sure. So what is, listen, I mean, like you're on a platform right now, or you're on a podcast right now where it's like we're trying to elevate people of the city, right? Because we see that, like the community knows that, where it's just like, if you want to get put on, this is not the place for you. Like it's growing, don't get me wrong, but they're like, oh, I'll go to Toronto, I'll go to New York, I'll go to LA, right? What made you be like, okay, I can't do this on the level that I want to do this if I'm in Vancouver?
Well, I just always knew that, I mean, you have to be in LA to get like a late night spot, or like you just have to be in the States. You have to be able to work there. So when I won top JFL, the Sirius XM Top Comic, that gave me $25,000. So I was like, I knew the visa is $12,000. I got the set from that showcase, and I just like downloaded IMDb Pro. I looked at everybody. I looked at comedians I liked, and I could see who their manager was.
Yeah.
And I just cold emailed a shit ton of managers with like that set and a write up. And I was like, this is the money. I need somebody to sponsor my visa. And then like so many people got back to me, like more than like, and they're like, I never reply to these.
Yeah.
But they just like liked the set, or like they liked what I had to say in the write up. And then I went down and I met with people, and then I picked a manager, and he's like dope. He's like, you know, it's like a good company, and like, and he sponsored my visa, and then like that, and then he's ever since then he's gotten me all this, everything that I've done so far. Yeah.
So when did you actually get to LA then? Like what year? What
Well, I went to LA in September, and then my visa finally went through in October.
Oh, September this last year.
Yeah, it's 2018.
What? Oh,
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So much progress since then.
Yeah, it's only been like 6 months, but yeah, it's good.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like, I can't complain. People are like, those suck, and I'm like, no, it's fine. Like,
Yeah. Totally. Because I heard about you initially from the Comedy Store in like, I don't know, last summer, like I want to say like June, July.
Oh, the Comedy Mix.
Comedy Mix, rather, not the Comedy Store. Big difference. And I was like, oh, like that's a dope local act. And then now I see you like in December, October, and I'm like, oh, that's a dope comic. Like he's legit.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
that's
he's legitimate now. You know,
yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
not just like, oh, that's a cool guy locally. Like there's lots of cool artists locally, and I'll like go out and support them because they do dope shit. But it's not like, he's not bona fide. And now he's bona fide, right? Again, that's why I consider you a professional.
Yeah, I felt like I didn't ever get like some people did, but when I was like here, and like I felt like I was like unique and like developing my voice. I feel like nobody like really like was like fucked with me.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a common case in Canada, once like people only like pay attention once you leave.
Once you made it. 100%. No, 100%.
Nathan McIntosh, he's a comedian from Halifax. He has a joke about that. He's in New York now, but he has a joke about that, about Drake, about how like nobody cared. Canada didn't care about Drake until Drake left.
Was Drake, yeah.
I think he did that on like Late Night or something. Nathan's funny. You should look him up.
Okay, dope. Super cool. Yeah, it's definitely an art form, and I wish there was more people around here that would like give recognition to that. And I wish that like what you did this weekend is super cool, because it's like a lot of people just will leave and not come back. Like they'll be like, oh, kind of like, so the Comedy Mix reaches out to you.
I come back, I need money.
Yeah. But a lot of people would just be like, nah, like I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Well, that's like my like, you know, my home spot. Like, so the manager just texted me and asked, so.
So yeah, it's on that level. I get that. So you won SiriusXM's Canada's Top Comic. Is that correct?
It's like top comic,
Yeah.
but it's,
Yeah,
pretty
whatever.
much that's what it is.
And then I was watching, you went on some morning show the morning after or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I was like, that shit is like, they interviewed, it's dumb.
Super stupid, right? Like, cause it's
I'm
3
like
minutes.
hungover,
Yeah.
my skin is like I'm like dehydrated.
Yeah.
I was up till like 4 a.m. partying.
Yeah. And then you went
And
on.
then I go
Good
on and
morning,
I'm just
whatever.
like, and then they ask me dumb questions.
Yeah. How does it feel to be a comic that won? Well, like,
Yeah.
good. Like, I got paid, you know?
Yeah, some people ask really dumb questions about comedy, but it's just because like they don't know anything. They'll be like, "Are you just constantly thinking of funny stuff?" It's like, no, I just like to live.
Or like you get on a stage somewhere, or you get on you hop up on a podcast and like, oh, like, so what's up, Gavin? You're a comic, that's cool. Tell a joke.
Yeah, I honestly never do podcasts.
Oh, shout out to you for coming on.
Yeah. I just, yeah.
Yeah.
I
no.
usually don't.
But you're super honest.
I usually don't. I don't. I just like I gotta come on and talk about me, and then be funny, and then have people like
Well, like, not
respond to it. Is
not really like. It's like a license to be wrong. Like, you can also just like trash a podcast so easily too. Like, it's not like one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I did a podcast. It was whatever. It was a conversation.
yeah, but you gotta come on here and be like, I'm a fucking genius, like, and then people are watching it and they're like, who it is?
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, they don't know.
But you're like brutally honest about the whole thing, and that's what makes you, in my opinion. Like, the fact that you're like, last night, like, yo, I made $250 for this, or like for this show, and then you're like on the Good Morning, whatever it was, or Today, or I don't know what the fuck it was in Toronto, right? And you're like, and she's like, how does it? Fucking stupid question. I hate this question. How does it feel to like win $25,000? Or what are you gonna do with the money? And it's just like, shut up. And you're like, oh, like, I don't know, like, I have it in my pocket right now. Did you actually have it in your pocket?
Yeah, I had the check in my pocket. Yeah, I have it. I don't know. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. Well,
Yeah.
I kind of did, but this is just a dumb question.
But did you get Gucci slippers? Did you make
No, that was just like a thing I
hilarious.
was saying as like a bit.
I got it.
I started a GoFundMe like in like 2015 or 16 to like get Gucci slip-ons, and I got like $80 out of it.
Hell yes.
But like if I did that now, like if I did the GoFundMe bit now,
Nah.
like people would be like so pissed.
Yeah, they'd be so mad.
Because like I know people that have GoFundMes for like, actual
Legitimate
ailments, and I'm out here trying to, that's what I thought was funny,
Yeah.
is like if I'm getting
Actual
Gucci
money.
slip, I mean, I would do it again, but it would have been so funny if it somehow caught on.
Yeah.
Because you're always like, oh, how can I go viral? Because I feel like nobody in Canada, like in Vancouver at least, nobody does like Twitter, or like,
Yeah.
nobody has Twitter. Instagram is like, it's all the same mountains and garbage.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I love it.
So.
The whole, like, if you go through your honesty is just so hilarious. Like, I'm looking at your bio, right, on your website, and you're like, I know you say you're like about me in third person or something like that. And I always laugh because every time I see a bio, I'm always like, yeah, that person wrote that.
Yeah, you like have to have a bio to send to stuff, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, nobody's gonna write it for
Yeah.
me.
Like, are you gonna lie and say you have like a manager that wrote it to then send it to your the manager you're trying to get? Like, it's like a facade. Like,
Yeah.
you play on that so much. Like, a facade of being from Canada, a facade of like just coming on and being a nerdy white kid. Like, it's just like, yeah, this is the image, deal with it. Or like you take things as it is and then spin it into like, you don't even spin it into like a false narrative. You just keep the narrative and make it funny. Like, people will, a lot of times in jokes, will take something that's true or an experience or a conversation and then use that as a setup to just go a completely different direction with it. Like, they'll be talking about like a dinner table and then they'll relate that back to like, I like anal sex or something like that, and make it funny and try to go this weird obscure route versus just like, now you just take what it is and then flip what it is into, it's still that same thing, it's just fucking hilarious now.
Cool.
And that's why, like, with that heckler where you're just like, yeah, I don't think you people realize like it's hard to be funny now. And then the place erupts again, and I'm literally sitting there like, how the fuck is that funny? Like, I'm laughing my ass off, and I'm like, how did he make that funny? Like, I like just picture those words right there, and I'm like, I don't think you guys understand it's hard to be funny. And I'm just like, I don't know how you just take reality without putting a goofiness on it, keeping honesty and making it funny. Because I feel like to be funny, you have to put a goofiness on it. So that's like a new lane in my head know what I'm saying? It's just like a different perspective. And that's why I say that all to relate it back to like comedians that are good or great craft their own lane. And you're kind of crafting your, like an entire new style. Like I don't know another comedian that does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you mirror your style off of another comedian?
No, but maybe like, you know, is like a conglomerate of like people I liked,
yeah.
and I just like took everything I liked, and that. But I think that's how you do something.
Right.
Like I think, you know, I don't think anybody's ever like. I don't think anybody that's like successful has ever just been influenced by one person. I think they're like influenced by like, you know, a group of things.
A collective.
Yeah.
And experiences. I mean, that's what a genius is like someone that didn't get influenced, right? Like they just out of nowhere. But with that, like, this is corny of me to say, but I literally see your style like is a Dave Chappelle style. Like I see that little like you're just how you navigate the crowd. Like even last night, I'm watching you and you're trying, so you just put out that Comedy Central thing, right? Well, you recorded it in January, it just dropped now, right?
Yeah, it came out on Thursday.
Right. Hilarious. And I'm like, okay, so I know a little bit about how comedy works, and I'm like, okay, like now he's gonna have to try new shit out. So I was like super impressed where I was like you might have did one or two bits from that, but like you didn't go through and just do the whole set. And I was like, oh, he's probably just gonna do that. And I was like, well, he can either go that route or he has to just make a whole new 45 minutes up. And I was just like, there's no way he can do that. Like, that's so hard.
It takes just so long.
How long does it take you to get 45 minutes together?
I mean, there are jokes that I don't do anymore that I tried and like I don't, you know.
Right.
And they're gone. But like 5 years. I mean, when you're like, how long did it take you to develop your act to anybody? I think it's like, well, from when I started until now.
Yeah.
Even if they're on like their like third or fourth hour, it's like it's everything until now.
Right. Nah, but so like last night, you had this.
I mean, last night is just like that's just like a show of like the work I've put in for 5 years.
It's accumulation of
it's
all
just
that,
like a
right?
time capsule of.
All right, and that's what makes you funny. But like you're right, you had spots where you're just like gentrification and like the way. Did you purposefully stumble into shit and like because the crowd fucking loved it? Like you have this way. Your narrative is like you stumble into things, like it looks like you're stumbling, and like I'm looking and I'm like just because of your pauses and the way that you time your breath work, I'm like, oh shit, does he have nothing to say here? And I kind of pop up on the edge of my seat, and then all of a sudden you just boom go right off into a bit, and I'm like taken back. Do you have like is that purposeful stumbling in a way because it kind of goes in with your whole narrative? Right?
I think
Your
it's just
whole
like
persona.
style and like, you know.
Where'd the hoodie come from?
This hoodie?
No, like the hoodie thing.
I like just like would always wear like the same thing, like constantly.
Right.
But that's because like I had like, you know, I just had like one zip up hoodie, so I just wore that, and then I just thought I would just keep wearing a hoodie, and then I like feel comfortable on stage. Like I don't like anything else. I think I look dumb in. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to wear like if I wear a dress shirt, I've done that sometimes. It just doesn't.
That's not you.
It does, yeah, because like I like mainly wear hoodies like in my life.
I would be mad if you came up stage.
Yeah,
in a dress
like
shirt.
I wear hoodies in my life, so it's like
It's
I
easy.
don't know why I should change. Like I don't wear suits, I don't dress up,
Yeah.
so I don't know why I would change that for
Man.
stand up because it's just me. So
So crazy. Like when you make red carpet.
I mean, I'll wear a suit for sure.
I'm just saying.
I would definitely wear a suit on a red carpet if I was in a movie or some shit. Yeah, you got to.
Oh man, I'll be like.
But on stage, I'll like wear whatever, you know.
Yeah. No, I like
Jackets and stuff. It's just kind of, in my mind also. It was like a New Yorkie like.
Yeah.
It's like sneakers and a hoodie and like thoughts.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, oh, that's what I want to be, and then it's just like stuck because I don't know.
You have Gavin Matt hoodies yet? Like, can we buy them?
No,
Why not, bro?
I don't.
That is a lane.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
that paper.
yeah. If
What
I
do you
ever,
do?
but you have to. You can't. I just don't feel right unless it's like somebody is selling those for me.
I know a guy.
And I'm like touring. It has to be. I have to be constant. I can't just have a box of hoodies with just like you. You're the only person that wants one.
All right, well, like if you make one, I'm buying.
All right.
It's just like, I know a guy that makes hoodies. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you could definitely brand that.
Yeah, I just love the Carhartts.
Dude,
Shout out to Carhartt.
Shout out to Carhartt.
Work in progress.
literally.
They're my favorite. This is my favorite hoodie. They make a good hoodie.
What makes a good hoodie to you, bro?
It's just like the material. It's like the thickness, but it like fits nice. Like it's kind of slimming.
Right.
You know, the solid color. Like I like a solid color. Like I don't like anything really on it. Like it's just a solid.
That's your style. That's what I'm saying. Like this is what you do. So you have 8 different hoodies. It's all colors of the rainbow. They're all solid colors.
I did have Roy G. Biv at one point, but like I got rid of some. I had Roy, but like, and then it's like a hoodie, and then when you go out, you have like a jacket you put over it.
Right.
Like I got like a couple jackets that I'll throw over it.
Dude, Roy G. Biv line. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's like they come in 2020, and then you just have a little Gavin Matts right here.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, like just like that Carhartt's got.
Yeah.
That's money.
You're probably right. One day.
That's the play.
One day.
Yeah. And so who's oh, you also shout out to Van City. You wore a Van City hoodie on those shows. Like you're putting like, do people really know you're from Vancouver? Like, is that part of you? Like, oh, that's the Canadian.
I tell people that's where I'm from, but I don't know.
No, that's not like part of your identity.
Yeah. I tell people I'm from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. So, who else is coming up from Vancouver that is notable in your mind in the comedy scene?
I mean, Sophie Buttle, my old roommate. She's like funny as fuck.
Sophie Buttle.
Yeah, she's always at Yucks now because she signed with Yucks. But
whoa, signed with Yucks.
yeah, so Yucks as a Canadian comic, you like sign with them so that you only work with them.
Oh.
It's kind of.
Is that a common thing?
It's kind of whack, but no, yeah, it's like a. No, it's not a common thing.
That's
but
ridiculous.
in Canada, Canadian comedy, you sign with Yucks, and then they'll like tour you to all their Yucks and stuff. But I think it's pretty stupid. I never wanted to do that, but.
What the hell is that? That's so trash. That
Yeah.
limits you so much.
Yeah, club wise, but I think it can be good if you're like in the States, and then because then they'll just book all your shit and you can come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's helpful, but yeah, she's over Yuck. She's so funny. She's probably my favorite, and then other than that, I'm not sure because I'm not really in the scene anymore.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Now blew up on us.
Yeah, because I'm just like not around watching his shows
Right.
here, so I don't know who's been killing it. I used to really like my friend Ashcon, but he disappeared. I don't know where he's at.
Oh.
He's like alive somewhere, but like he just stopped doing stand up. Like sometimes people just don't stop.
See, that's another thing too. Like, comics are weird people. The comics are weird people. Like the comics, like
Sure.
you're a professional comic, you're a different type of human. You know,
Sure.
like they're and quite often like super dark. You know, like that comes from like a weird place. But like, I don't know. Like you seem like a very grounded person. You said if you don't do comedy for a couple days, you'll be depressed or whatever, right? But like you seem very level-headed.
I mean, I get caught up in like all the
Yeah.
insecure, but what is? I'm not gonna reveal my.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I said
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I get it. You've said before that you're comfy but not necessarily confident. I get a super confident vibe from you. I like, you don't think you're confident in what you do?
I don't know. I think it goes back and forth, but I mean, like, I don't know. No matter what, I'm like comfortable.
Yeah.
So like, I don't always know if things are gonna work.
Yeah. You just do them.
Yeah.
Damn. How do you like? If there's a moment on stage like when you bomb, right after that, like you tell a joke, it misses. You tell another joke, it misses. What goes through your head right
Well, something I've realized, which is I'm trying to get better at, is that like sometimes this shit doesn't work. Like, especially in a longer set, like people don't notice. like people wouldn't notice if something didn't work unless I like mentioned it.
Right. Right. You bring attention to it.
Yeah. So like you kind of just have to just move on.
Yeah. Dope.
But then I think that is like makes you seem more comfortable because you're like, oh, he doesn't
care. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, dope. Dude, I kind of want to come out and see you again tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you're gonna come back once after this, after your little birthday weekend at the Comedy Mix. Are you gonna be coming back at all, or are you just kind of like you said, it's pilot season? You're gonna be grinding down there in LA. I gotta go get a flight to go see you.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna try to not come back.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna try to stay away for a while.
Fair enough, man.
I don't want to overuse the back in town
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, once a year.
I mean, I gotta see my mom.
Right.
So maybe more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a cheap flight, but
you just don't want to do it.
I don't like people are, you know.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, anytime you do, you know, we'll make sure to put it out. I don't even know you're in town this weekend, so we'll try to plug it and get people out there because you're like. And I've seen a lot of comics from Vancouver, and you're kind of the only one that's doing something different and unique, and like you're experimenting and comfortable and also on a high level, and I think that that's super recognizable. Like you've been on, like again, you've won contests and awards and things like that, but like also just the recognition. Like I don't know how you feel about it, of what your biggest achievement is, but like to me, like Bill Burr putting you on, or just even selecting you, like to me that's the highest of the highs. You know what I mean? To get that kind of like respect from a seasoned comic. What's your like number one achievement in your mind?
I don't know. I haven't got it yet.
Haven't got it yet?
Yeah.
What's your goal?
I'm gonna jinx it.
All right.
I mean, I don't have a big goal. Like I have plans. Like I have like 5-year plans. I work in 5 years, so I'm on my second
5-year plan. So you must have just wrote that out.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I want to do like a Comedy Central half hour next year.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, so that's right now it seems like the only thing that's achievable on my list.
There's a ton that is. So listen, man, I'm happy to have gotten you while you're in town, because it sounds like you will not be in town for quite some time, which is cool. Go do your thing. Just you know, keep coming back and doing those I'm back home sets, because they matter, man. And like Vancouver might not fully be behind you now, but I guarantee you come back another 6 months, another 8 months, another 12 months, like they will be. And like, that's cool. It's the nature of the city. It's the nature of the country, as you said. Like, we don't like to get behind things until they're cool. And like, and so that's why this was important to me, where it's just like, yeah, I don't want to hit Gavin in 12 months or in 6 months. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I would love to, but I want to just like have been there, you know, for the process, because that's like what matters. And that's what Self-Fired on a whole is, right? It's like literally taking that step and being like, no, I'm going to be a comic.
Cool.
And I'm going to like continue to do that regardless. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like if I like told my mom, like, Mom, I'm going to be a comic, she would be like, you know, I couldn't even imagine that, you know, like I couldn't imagine what the conversation was like for you and your mom, you know?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I just started doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just went for it.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I can't. Those are leaps of faith that every entrepreneur, every person that is, you know, self-hired has to take and has to go through. And that moment of disbelief, and then still, like, it's almost like a dysphoria. It's almost like a delusion for a long time, you know, like going to those open mic sets, going to, you know, again, like 3 people in the crowd, that's crazy. But it feels like now from, again, a consumer perspective, like, I know that you don't have this perspective, but I don't think you can necessarily fail in a way. You've gained so much momentum, and like just based off of your personality and how you're going to continue to attack things, and you're like, well, it's like, what now? So based off that, and just based off those milestones you've had thus far, it's like, yeah, Gavin's gone. Like, yeah, like he'll be fine.
Yeah. I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are all good things to hear, but
Hell yeah, bro.
I hope so.
Dope, man. I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. It was a dope little conversation.
I hope I don't sound like an idiot.
I tell you what, we can edit. Nah, you're good. You're good. It's
I hope I sound articulate and well spoken.
Do you have to sound articulate and well spoken as a comic?
Yeah.
Really?
You gotta enunciate. I hope I didn't mumble.
Nah, I'm a mumble king.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, anyway, anytime, man. Anyways, that's a wrap, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.